In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the best tax-free investment. Hey folks, I'm best-selling author David McKnight. Today we're going to be discussing true tax-free investments, after which I'll reveal what I believe to be the very best of the bunch. Okay, more and more Americans are coming to the startling realization that taxes will have to rise dramatically in the next 10 years or we'll go broke as a nation. Unfunded obligations such as Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, and interest on the national debt are pushing our nation's fiscal condition to its breaking point. Some experts have even suggested that tax rates have to double or we go broke as a nation. Given the threat of dramatically higher taxes, many Americans are asking themselves how they can protect their tax-deferred retirement accounts like 401ks and IRAs. Remember, putting money into 401ks and IRAs is a bit like going into a business partnership with the IRS, and every year they get to vote on what percentage of your profits they get to keep. Not a very good business partnership, if you ask me. So unless you can accurately predict what tax rates are going to be, and the year you take your money out, you don't really know how much money you have. And it's pretty hard to plan for retirement if you don't know how much money you have. The best way to shield yourself from the threat of higher taxes is to grow your money inside of true tax-free investments. You contribute after-tax dollars to these accounts so that when you take distributions somewhere down the road, when tax rates are likely to be much higher than they are today, you've done all the heavy lifting and can take those dollars out tax-free. This, of course, begs the question, what kinds of investments are tax-free and which one is the best? Well, for starters, we know that there are a lot of investments out there that masquerade as tax-free. But I'm here to tell you, to be truly tax-free, it's got to qualify in two different ways. First, it has to really be tax-free. And when I say tax-free, I'm talking free from three different kinds of taxes. Free from federal tax, free from state tax, and free from capital gains tax. Second, when you take distributions from a true tax-free investment, it should not count as provisional income. It should not count against the thresholds which cause Social Security taxation. Before I begin defining true tax-free investments, let me begin by saying that I think the best tax-free retirement strategy calls for multiple streams of tax-free income, none of which show up on the IRS's radar, but all of which contribute to you being in the 0% tax bracket in retirement. Why do I believe this? Because every true tax-free stream of income has its own unique qualities that set it apart from other streams of tax-free income. Each truly tax-free investment can do things that the others simply can't do. And when you utilize a combination of these tax-free alternatives, they fit together like pieces of a puzzle, and a zero-tax retirement comes into focus. So, having set the table for what constitutes a balanced, comprehensive, tax-free retirement strategy, let's discuss which types of investment accounts meet the criteria I've set forth. The first one we'll talk about is the Roth IRA. The thing that makes Roth IRAs unique is their liquidity. Whatever you contribute, you can take right back out without any holding periods, taxes, or penalties. By the way, not a year should go by where you're not fully funding your Roth IRA. Second, the Roth 401k. This is unique because in most cases you get a company match. You get free money. Let's say your company offers a dollar-for-dollar match up to 5% of your income, and you contribute up to that match. That's a 100% return on your investment contribution in the first year. None of the other streams of tax-free income can pull that off. Third, the Roth conversion. The Roth conversion is powerful because unlike all the other tax-free investments we'll discuss today, it has no limits. In fact, if you had $1 billion in your IRA, you could convert every last dime of it to a Roth IRA, no questions asked. For many of you, the Roth conversion will be the real workhorse in getting you to the 0% tax bracket in retirement. Next is what we call the Life Insurance Retirement Plan, or the LIRP. I talk about this in Chapter 5 of my book, The Power of Zero. Now, this alternative has tax-free growth just like the other alternatives, but it also has a quality that truly sets it apart. There's a death benefit component that doubles as long-term care. In other words, you can receive your death benefit in advance of your death for the purpose of paying for long-term care. And should you die peacefully in your sleep 30 years from now, never having needed long-term care, guess what? Someone's still getting a death benefit, probably your kids or grandkids. So there isn't that sensation of having paid for something you hope you never have to use. The fifth stream of tax-free income is your required minimum distribution in retirement, but only if you plan well ahead of time. Let me explain. By the time you retire, most of the deductions you experienced during your working years will have vanished into thin air right when you need them the very most. The IRS, in their infinite goodness, recognizes this, so they give you a deduction. It's called your standard deduction, which if you retire today, as a married couple, is $25,900, and the IRS indexes that to keep up with inflation every year. What does that mean? That means that this year you could experience income from any number of sources up to $25,900 without paying any tax at all. The key here is to make sure that the balance in your IRA is low enough that RMDs at 72 are equal to or less than your standard deduction. The last one we'll talk about today is your Social Security. Remember, a true tax-free investment doesn't cause Social Security taxation. So if you can strategically combine the streams of income we've talked about so far, you'll stay below your provisional income thresholds, which means your Social Security will be tax-free. And what makes tax-free Social Security unique? Well, the longer you keep it, the better it gets. The longer you live, the greater the return on your money. And that helps insulate you against the greatest risk of all, longevity risk, the risk of running out of money before you run out of life. Okay, it's time for the Power of Zero question of the day. Which of the tax-free streams of income we've discussed today is your favorite? Feel free to put your answer in the comments section below. All right, now that we've laid out the 6 true streams of tax-free income, I'm going to unveil which one is my very favorite. It's the tax-free RMD, required minimum distribution, from your IRA. Why is this my favorite? It's the only one that gives you a tax deduction on the front end, allows you to grow your money tax deferred, and then by utilizing the standard deduction at 72 to offset your distribution, you take it out tax-free. Again, tax deduction on the front end, it grows tax deferred, and yet take it out tax-free. None of the other tax-free streams of income we've discussed today can do that. This is what I call the holy grail of tax-free retirement planning. By the way, there is one other investment that has those same qualities, but it usually has a few strings attached, so I don't usually bring it up in this conversation. But if you know what that investment is, go ahead and list it in the comment section below. If you need some help navigating these types of strategies, head on over to davidmcknight.com and opt in for a complimentary strategy session. I'm happy to give you a hand. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the bell so you never miss a video, and feel free to make comments or ask questions in the comment section below. This is David McKnight. I look forward to seeing you on the next video.